Hello, good evening and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio. Hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Joining myself Southside on the show is my big mucker, the drum chapel musician, Big Stevie. How you doing, big man?
I'm fantastic. Welcome to the big station, serving a nation. And yes, indeedy, it is Dream Team Wednesday. How are you?
Aye, getting there now. Getting there now slightly, mate. What about yourself?
Oh, I'm not in the solids yet at all. Definitely no. Do you want me to get into this an hour? But
If you want to do it in stages, we can maybe debate a wee bit, or you can go for a wee rant if you want. It's up to you.
I think I'll go for B, the rant.
Right, okay, on you go.
Southside, me and you have discussed this, gone to many a game. We've spoke about the Rangers, we've spoke about the fans, our club, we love and everything else. See that on Sunday there, that was a total and utter disgrace. Now, I've been saying in this show for a while last year, and I think even further afield than that this team has not got enough guile, heart and determination. And I've been saying it, and I've been saying it again on this show, and Sunday was a prime example of that. I never seen one bit of guile, one bit of heart, one bit of determination. The dirty side of the game, we're just a bunch of nice guys, nice players. We haven't even got the mindset. We were beat when we got off that bus before we went into that stadium. We have not got a mindset at all. We're the Glasgow Rangers. We're getting in here, shout everything. Getting off that bus, the vile they get shouted at. Take your earphones out and listen to some of it, and it'll make you more determined to beat them. They've all got their earphones, keeping their head down. They just show no bottle, no determination. And by the way, they don't know what that badge means. They definitely don't know what that badge means. But I'm sick saying it to them blue in the face. We need a team with a mindset of what our club really stands for and what we're about and what our fan base is really about. Because at the present, mate, I know they might have, they're spending big across the other side of the city, and they might have some better players in better positions and whatever it is, but see if you've got a bit of bottle and a bit of guile, you can bring them down. You can win your personal battles and win as a team. You can bring any team down if you show a bit of guile. I've said it before, get up to Aberdeen a Wednesday night, gone to St Johnstone a Wednesday night with a snow. Football does the 1 year games. You've got to have guile, fight and determination to get you over the line. And I'm afraid we've no got it and we're going to struggle.
I think, I agree with a lot of it, you know that. I think the thing that saddened me on Sunday was we've probably got newer players in the team. There is some that have still been up there before and done the course. But the lack of heart, fight, desire for your team, I thought that was deplorable. It's sickening. It's sickening. Listen, there's nothing. All we ask when you go there is you try your best and you get stuck in for 90 minutes. If you have a bad game, some players have a bad game, you can say, all right, it's not a good game today, but listen, he's tried, he's shut down, he's done this, that, he's not been too good on the ball. He's had one of the games, but he still showed heart and fight for the team and worked hard. That's what was lacking in our team, because they were running bys, Stevie, as you know. We watched it, you know, they were running bys and putting pressure on, be shutting down quicker. That's the thing that annoys me more, is that we had some different players into the squad, and it was still the same sort of thing. You could say we got out, ran and out for it, and you can't do that up there or anywhere, but you certainly can't go up there and be out running out for it. You know that, Stevie?
Aye. Listen, mate, I've got to say, we've just got too many shrinking violets in my team. They were shattered. Listen, I seen Maida, I seen the other wee guy, Kyogo. fighting back, running from one half to the other to do the dirty side of the game, defend our goal. And I watched our captain jogging back, taking forever to get back into the game. Now, it's no one guy. There's nobody in that Rangers. There wasn't one player in that Rangers team you could say, well, he done all right. He done all right. He wasn't too bad. That's how bad a performance it was outside. And by the way, I've slaughtered other bears, right, for coming on here and really getting them it tight, because I do believe we should try and keep things in-house, right? But it's got to the stage now where you're looking stupid trying to defend them. And by the way, that there was a nail in the coffin for me, Southside. It really was. It was absolute. No fight, no determination, no nothing. No plan B. Your manager was woeful. The 11 players were woeful. The subs didn't make any difference at all when they came on. I just think the whole thing's got to be ripped up, and they've got to come up with something. They've got the gap. There's definitely a gap. You can see it. They were winning every second ball. They were winning absolute everything. I don't know how many I was swinging that. I was ready to smash that remote off the telly. I was that angry with him because I just didn't see any heart. How many Rangers players Southside were booked?
About 5, I think. It wasn't very. I think my Lawrence sort of he gave it for McGregor running into him, but it looks at he booked him for no long coming on. I thought Sterling was booked, which I thought we said he playing in midfield. He's more likely to get booked, but it wasn't anything. Seen me get booked for. He sort of shoved a guy. The two of them sort of came together and he just sort of lifted his arm up and he went on the ground. They had the ball, they were going up the park, but for some reason they come back and booked him for it, which some of the bookings were deplorable. It wasn't any game where you could see that was a bad tackle, was it?
Well, that's what I'm coming to. You've got 5 or 6 Rangers players booked. Tell me a real bad tackle you've seen.
There wasn't.
Southside. We're too nice. We don't know the dirty side of the game. We really don't. And we need to learn that. We're buying guys like you. Are you telling me Yefty would have been like me and you on Sunday night? Come on, man. They've got, I know he's just there and you've got to give him time. I know he's building a team and all the rest of it. But come on, as an individual going on to that part, surely you've got bought on a wee bit of fight, haven't you? Surely. I never seen it with one of them, man.
No, you're going up there and they're a better drilled unit. No, they're drilled in what they do and how they play. And we've watched this movie umpteen times. You know how sometimes you lose that goal in the game. So for me, if you took it in, if we'd tracked runners and not been switched off it for wins, which we've seen before again, it's the same things. I was just more annoyed because you watch it. With Lundstrom and all them in it before and that, and Golston and everybody else, it was ones that have left that have played up there. I was trying to give this team a clean sheet. So I was hoping that they'd be switched on, they'd be ready to know the pitfalls that we've seen in the past up there. How many times how many times we've seen the ball, somebody making that run into their box for a full-back position, cutting it across their box and they score? No, we've seen it before. And that's the most annoying thing. And then you see our goalkeeper in no man's land. But if, I don't know, I was beginning to wonder if he'd been in the post to have a drink of water or something and come back and something happened, we gave the ball away. I had no idea how far across he was his goal. So he's responsible for that. And then you're like, 2-0. And that's the type of goals we've gave away. You know, it's just annoying. So, we dissect this game, but once we move on, we've got to move on to Dundee United, you know, and we've got to make sure that we win that game. But mate, I'm agreeing with you. They're a better drilled team. We look disjointed. I don't know about you, but big Sterling in there in the midfield. I get why. Didn't have the. You got the ball at the wing, if you remember. You got the ball at their stone, that big North Stone or something. And he got the ball in a lot of space, and he decided to no go forward. I don't know, because he didn't. You're watching the telly, you know what I mean? You're not seeing the whole part. Don't know what options he had, but his option he took was to pass it back the way. A safe option, you know. He just looked a wee bit all over the place in there, which isn't his fault, but it didn't help us on the day. I thought Diamondi playing further up out of position to what he was doing, and Connor Barron's playing a 6 when he's really an 8, and he's trying to link play with nobody around about him. Stevie, 15-yard passes we were playing. That's how Barron tried to play the ball to Efty, to Sherney. That's the sort of what we've been watching. We've watched this weekend. We could go into the games, you know that, at times.
Aye, listen, maybe too many people playing out of position and stuff like that and all, but you've got to shuffle the pack. But listen, South said, let's be honest, no matter what player was playing where, they need to show a wee bit more bottle. They need to show a wee bit more. I mean, come on, that defence yours, man, they were like Bambi and Ice. They were all over the place. And our captain, how many times have we seen that goal where the ball comes across and Maeda nicks in just before he puts the ball in the net, or it was Jota that done it, or, you know, many times are we going to see that goal? I mean, talking about our captain, by the way, I'd like to thank you for a bottle of Tequila Rose. I told you I wouldn't drop him, didn't I? But thanks for the bottle of Tequila Rose and the 2 chopped pork rolls. I must admit, I couldn't drink the Tequila Rose because I was working in the morning, and I tanned one of the rolls with a packet of cheese and onion crisps. They were lovely.
Well, you've got to pay your debts, mate, and it's always that. Didn't think you'd mention it, but since you have, I come out and gave you it, and it was richly deserved since I've lost the bet. But I had somebody else to go and see. Actually, I didn't hang about, mate, because I had to give him steaks and some burgers. I'd lost that bet and all, and he was a real pal, mate, so sorry about that, but you know how it works.
A wee bit sour. I sense a bit of sour grapes. But listen, mate, I wish it was you won the bet. I wish you did drop Tav. There you go. After that performance again, I wish you did drop him. Because no matter who you play in there, surely they must do better. Surely the young boys in our team must be going, come on, man, let me on that part.
Well, see the thing you say about the young boys now, as we were talking about that, right? We've got a few on the periphery, right, that have been there. But now the pressure's ramping up. No, and we're getting players back. We will probably have Cortez back in a matter of weeks, I would think, since he's back in training. Raskin's going to go in there. Cole McKinnon was sitting about there, but no getting another chance for a while, but still part of the squad. People are trying to push for Bailey Rice, who has got great ability, but I think his work rate in any games I've watched him has left a lot to be desired. I think you need to work a bit harder, and I think Clement referenced that. Still got Alex Lowry there, who's turned it down. All these boys, even Ross McCausland, will struggle now probably to get in that team. All the young boys we've got there, and probably Zach Lovelace will be the same. But the boys now, I think I'll just get. I know he referenced them, said we'll maybe have to use them, but I'll be surprised now going forward if you see any of them get any game time. You have to do it when you're winning. You have to do it when you're maybe a few goals up. And then he proved it to me at Ross County game at Hampden when he stuck on Kieran Dowell and didn't stick on Bailey Rice. We were 4-0 up or something at that point. Why not play Bailey Rice? Just give him a bit of game time. Then bring on Kieran Dowell. Somebody we know it does the same thing, and he's been there, and he's obviously might like him, but why not just give the young boy a chance?
Mate, listen, I'm still scratching my head with Big Clement. No, so I've got to say he's part of the problem here. You know, it's just some of the things he's doing, and you know, even before we got to this stage, you know, some of the things that he was doing. You know, is there a plan B? Is there a plan B, Southside?
No, probably no. But it looks at it, because he's stuck to his system as he's lined it up every week. He might have a rethink. I don't know. But Stevie, all managers are stubborn on their systems. The majority of them. You know.
I don't want to see
Gio was the same. Gerrard was the same. Bill was the same when he come back. He sort of stuck to what he tried to do with the 2 10s and for winger and whatever. But we've watched it. You should play a team. You should listen. We've probably got decent players in there, but if they're playing the wrong system, then that's going to expose them possibly because they're no best at it. I mean, if you ask me, is Connor Barron better dropping into the midfield and picking the ball off the defenders, or is he better try to get the ball on the halfway line, go forward and make a pass? I want him going forward, making a pass. I don't want him picking the ball off my centre-back. If you buy a defensive number 6 or a defensive midfielder, that's different, if that's what his job's going to be from time to time. But I don't know whether we scrap the 10 going forward, and you play you can play a 6 with 2 8s, as they call it, a left and a right-sided midfielder. To me, mate, a centre midfielder, that's what it is. But as they call it, a 6 and 2 8s, do you play that and scrap the 10? Or you could play a 10 and play a diamond, but then you're going to lose your wingers.
He's not going to gear the wingers up, is he?
No, he likes the wingers, doesn't he? He likes to play with wingers, so did Gio. So that's what he wants to do. Is it a case of once players are back a bit more fitter, they might actually come in and contribute, which we've not seen lately. Like Cortez coming back, getting a length of fitness behind him, playing every week. Raskin coming in, maybe fighting for a place, playing every week, depending if he changes the system, or does he put him in there as a 60, as a stopgap? But see, if you play a 6, would you not agree that he'll drop either Connor Barron or Diamondi?
He'll drop one of them, aye. I would reckon so, aye.
To play the 10?
Listen, can I just get back, before we get into formations and stuff, can I just get back to your chances? What do you think, Southside? I mean, we get 3 couple of half chances and maybe one wee McCausland should have ripped the net. But Matondo, Cedar and Big Cyril. Big Cyril does everything right and then doesn't rattle. I mean, he should have just put his laces right through it. There's a pass back in the end up. We said it before the game. We get some chances here, we've got to take them. And again, it might have been a different game if we took either Matondo or Big Cyril's their chances, you know. So what are you thinking yourself there? Do you think we should have took one or at least 2 of these chances?
Probably the one that Dessers has, he should take. I think Proper had a chance. I don't know if he could have went for a goal or headed it more across the goal instead of heading it right across the goal at the road. Matondo got himself into that position, no noted for sort of great heading ability, but he had a chance to hit the target. But really, later on, obviously, McCausland and Tav had chances, and Dessers had a blatant chance right at the start of the second half. And Dessers done everything on Sunday, Stevie, that he's no good at. And when he's no good at that, that's what you notice in his game. He might come away and score a goal, but anything like hold the ball up or fight for it late half, run the channel. Just things like that. Finish when you get that chance, when you've turned the defender. You do the hard work, and the easiest thing to do is to fire it into the net, and you don't complete it twice. He had 2 of the chances, one in the first half, one in the second half. If he's offside, he's offside. But it might have just gave you that wee lift that, here, we can score here. No? So, Dessers isn't. He's not good enough, mate. We know he's not good enough. I want him to succeed when he plays, course a day. But he isn't good enough going forward long term. And when you need him to come do with the job that you need him to do up there, to hold the ball up, come short, try and keep it for a second and then play it after somebody like that, he's not doing any of that. It doesn't matter if there's a big gap up between them, he should still be able to try and hold the ball. Somebody sent me a stat between Dessers, Diamondi and Czerny. They gave away possession 41 times in that game, mate. 41 times between the 3 of them.
Dear me, man. 41 times. That's a hard stat to believe, isn't it?
I get it sent. 41 times he lost possession in that game on Sunday.
In the ball away cheaply. You can't do that there. You can't do that there at all. Everybody knows when you go there, you've got to at least have half your team in top form and with a bit of swagger. There was nobody. We never had a home in hell. We really didn't. For the keeper right through, every one of them, Southside, I'll say it one more time, bottle merchants.
See, the thing is, mate, we've been up there many a time, right? And see if you don't give away that stupid first goal, when we could be emphasised it on the show. You need to track that runner. He'll run when he gets the chance, Johnston, right into your box and try and get the ball across. And I said, say Matondo better be switched on because he'll need to do the running. So when you lose a goal like that and you give him a second goal, to give them the 2-0 lead. I accept Hatate missed a right good chance, and Bernard could have probably scored and Butland saved it. But they're the type of pressure that you will take up there. I've watched it for many a year, but sometimes you don't concede. And if we'd been in there at half time, not in each, they've battered us for most of the first half, but they haven't scored yet. And you're still in this game, and it's down to the manager what he's got to do in the second half. But we're just going up there and we've no managed to even do that in games. We're already blow away and we're losing goals. Not even that free goal that Maida scored at Ibrox when Tav tried to hit it out the park. No, it's criminal. But that will need to change. But that's when we next play them, mate. And hopefully by the time we come to play them again, whether it be in the Cup or that league game when it arrives, then it's time to see a different Rangers team, and hopefully they'll not be making the same mistakes in the same movie that we've watched. I'll tell you what we'll do. I think we'll just get the phone lines open, mate. So I think we'll do that. So let's hear from you. Well, we would have, mate, but I think nope.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Southside.
Yes.
Give you a wee exclusive just before you get back out of the callers and whatever. The Lassies are getting beat 1-0 by Arsenal in the Champions League. It's only half time right enough, the second half still to come. So I'm going to say something. Arsenal's a really good women's team, by the way, so the Lassies are doing all right. I don't know if it's a two-legger, is it? Do you know?
I've not got a clue. I didn't really. I just seen it advertised. And there was an email come out or something for Rangers. Said it was on. I
don't know if it's a two-legger or no, but they're doing all right. They're hanging in there. 1-0's not a bad result against Arsenal down in London, so or wherever it is they're playing. So they're away anyway. But come on, the Lassies, give something to smile about.
Might be similar to the format that they're going to be playing in, the way it's done. So it might be just play them one game there and you play somebody different the next game. I don't know, but it could be like that, Stevie.
It might be, mate. I don't follow them as much, but you know, I like to see them swapping jerseys at the end. Okay, I'll take that one down to HR. Okay. And by the way, can I just say to all the new listeners for Shettleston, Big Andrew and that's listening in the night, all the best. And
Not you, all the best.
Aye.
Good.
Guess whose birthday it was today, by the way? Big Mark McPhee for Corby, the Corby Rangers supporters.
Big Mark.
Frequent listener to the show. Well done, Big Mark.
I've seen him a few times in the last wee while there when he's been up. It's always good to see the big one. And Corby, I've got some support down there, the boys for Corby, you know. So anytime I've been down, I've been made very welcome, Stevie.
Oh, aye. Yep, the plastic jocks, yes, aye. He always be a few bob dig money, but we'll not get into that earlier. Okay, we'll keep that in-house.
Aye, that's fine. But aye, as we said, I believe we're going to be at 5:30, and it's £23 a ticket. We're getting charged for the cup tie against Dundee. So that's the next thing that we're going to be getting charged for, mate. And CCS, credit card scheme, is going to be in operation. Rangers have announced.
Aye. I see they're giving the boys in the Copeland first dibs at the tickets, is that correct? Aye, I read that.
Yeah, aye.
So that's myself and Jamba and all that, or the Copeland Road season ticket holders will get the first dibs at the tickets. But 23 quid. No, I've got to say for a cup game, that's not bad, is it?
It's all right. It's live on the telly. What's that?
The way they're playing, we should get in for nothing.
I know. Well, it used to be many years ago. I remember you used to get it on your season book. If you remember, they used to give you the cup games at home.
That's correct.
It's part of your season book, but no anymore. But aye, £23. It's 5:30. Similar to what we had today when we played St Johnstone, except we had to go to Hamdump. So, no, we'll get back to Ibrox, and I believe you'll get a chance to sort of pack. I think they've gave a date out on the email, Stevie, that you'll get a chance to go and purchase your seats around about the stadium.
That's correct. And I believe there's another kick-off. Is it 8 o'clock or something like that? Against
St Johnstone.
Aye, that's right, St Johnstone.
6th of October.
Terrible, isn't it? 8 o'clock on a Sunday night.
I know. I don't know. Rangers probably can't do anything about it because that's where it's been scheduled for TV. But maybe somebody for the board maybe come out and just give a statement and say they're pretty unhappy about it. Don't know if you could have changed it to another day, a Monday or something, but it's not even great at either. But 8 o'clock on a Sunday night, it's not the best, is it? It's no. Because there's a Scottish run through Glasgow.
Listen, players like to take their wee kids to the football. So what do they do, man? It's come on, man. 8 o'clock on a Sunday night. That's a horrible, horrible time. Has the support ever thought of? That's a Scottish football again, eating itself to death, man. They need to get things right here, Southside. The support puts it. Listen, as much as I hate them at the other side of the city, us and them have kept this whole thing going. And when did they ever look after any of us? This is getting beyond a joke. I know TV's dictating everything, but man, come on. 8 o'clock on a Sunday night. Dearie me.
Aye, it's just the way they're dictating. TV dictates kick-off times, isn't it? And aye, it's hard for a lot of people, like you say, that's going to try and take their kids. I don't even know if the Subway still runs at that time on a Sunday. I think it shuts earlier on a Sunday, does it no?
It does, aye. Usually shuts at 9 o'clock, doesn't it? On Sunday.
I'm not 100% sure because I don't use the Subway too often, but I think it does sort of maybe shut earlier on a Sunday, I know, which would hamper a lot of people. But aye, it's poor. It's poor that the support are having to come out and for wanting to go to that game. No doubt it'll be live on telly, I know, but it's an 8 o'clock kick-off on a Sunday. Unbelievable.
I'll not be taking that bottle of tequila Roseways, that's for sure, eh? Work in the morning. But listen, see while we're on the subject, what do you think the European packages are going to come in at Southside?
Sorry?
I heard they were capping the prices of the tickets.
I would think I did get a text saying it was going to be close to about 140 circa, but I've seen another boy I know contacted us and says, nah, you maybe think close to 180, 170, 180 for the 4 games. I mean, I know. Listen, we've been the highest, Stevie, for a long time. We've been in that Europa League.
Yep.
I'm talking about against other Europa League teams. I'm not talking about anything else.
Aye. Listen, I don't look. When you were getting the Europa runs we've been on, it's been wow. The atmospheres, the teams we've been getting, and the way we've been playing has been absolutely. That's one competition where we really have been not too bad. You know what I mean? We've been punching above our weight, but listen, we'll wait and see what price they come in at. If it's, I thought they were going to do 50 quid a game. I really did, but if it's 180 and that, look, no matter what it is, I'll be paying it anyway. That goes without saying for being the B man. So if you're saying it's about 180, maybe about 350 for a 2s, 360, something like that.
Aye, you might get. They've obviously they've done a sort of price thing depending on where you sat in the stadium as well. They had that sort of a price thing in. But hold on. We'll get young man in. How you doing, Davey?
You got that a wee bit mixed up there, didn't you? Young dog.
Young and old.
Aye, I'm doing fine. A dynamic duo. Top dogs. Aye. I've been listening to since I was down Blackpool when the game was on. I think it's time, guys, we need to move on a bit here and put that game to bed. Because all we're doing is fueling that Monkey Mob's podcast full of garbage. And I enjoyed it when they had a meltdown with their 10 in a row and they couldn't sell all their flags and all that, throwing stuff at the parkades and all that. We don't like it doing it and be like that. We're above that. So we can't keep running the team down. We know where we are. It is worrying, but I've heard you saying it since like, it's the next game. And the next game, we've got a lot of games to come. But some of the comments and what they're saying about I think it's way over the top, if that's the word. I think you can make a reference to the game, you can say your piece, but I think it's time to put it to bed, guys, and think about what's coming in the future.
David,
I'll say this then, I'll let Stevie hang. I don't do all these message boards and that, Davey, right? But listen, they can get infiltrated, no bother. You know, when they're open sort of things today. The same as they try to get on here and that, you know. Listen, we're only talking there about the game, but we have to move on, we have to go to the next game and we have to look at the squad we've got and see if even somebody out there on a free contract that might come in and do a short-term thing for us if that's what we need. If we can cut a deal, so we could still maybe bring somebody in if we need a position full, which I think he would like. Right. I think he would like a number 6 or well, maybe a striker. But at the end of the day, I think he'd like, and they'll probably be older players, Davey. But it doesn't matter. It's about somebody coming in, just come in, do a job, whether it's 6 months or at the end of the season or whatever you cut the deal you cut with him. If he can come in and do the job that you require, then we could still maybe get somebody that might help improve the team, Stevie.
Aye. No, I'm just going to say to David, that David's quite right. You know, we have got to move on for Sunday, and some of the comments have been over the top. But, David, I've not had my say on here. This is my night, Wednesday night, Dream Team. So I was just relating my opinion about what I seen there on Sunday. And, David, the worrying thing for me was I just never seen any heart, mate. No heart. And he wear that badge, pull that jersey on as many a boys. And I just thought that some of them don't deserve to wear that badge. And we're seeing the same record, David. But David, we need to draw a line, dig our heels in and move on. I do get it, David.
Yeah, you're spot on, Steve. You're spot on. But the thing is, I mean, you can't just dwell on it. It's past, it's gone. We move on to the next game. It's easy saying, aye, this happened and that happened. I'll be more worried if it keeps happening.
Aye, and that's because now it's like anything, Davey, there's always a reaction to a negative. But we've got to look at the big picture. Now listen, Clement's no without criticism at the moment, but that doesn't mean to say that you need to sack him. You know? Of course. The same as some of the players. Ox was a wee bit, he was a bit critical of Proper. For what I've seen of Proper in the short games that he's played, I think he's all right. I think he was decent in the air in the games I watched him. I think he was decent on the ball. And apart from him slipping and maybe no going and maybe shutting Kyogo down at one point, I thought him and Suter got exposed a bit because of the cross balls that was coming in for the sides. So when it all settles down and we can get a settled team and it'll be a stronger team, I would hope it will start against Dundee United going forward with some different players, because you could take Tav out for a start and put Sterling in there and you've changed that, and obviously you have to put your 2 centre backs in, and if you want to take Suter out, take him out and just start with a big boy we just signed and Proper. So that's you changed your whole defence, Stevie, and going forward to the next game.
Aye. Look, there's a lot of players there. It was a first Old Firm. There's a lot of players there we brought in. They're trying to find each other and find out how each other plays. Davey's right in that sense. But look, I'm not one to keep saying it. It was just a worrying scenario. I never seen any fight at all. That was I watched people jogging back instead of sprinting back. I seen people no want to get in with tackles, no one in their personal duels. I just seen a lot of negatives, and there was a lot more negatives than there was positives. And I don't want to. The last thing I want to do is come on a radio and run my team down. But as I said earlier on, you've got to see it how you've got to see it how you see it, and how I seen it was some of the Rangers players really need to look in the mirror. And I'm moving on for it now. And old Davy's on, and he's been a bear a lot longer than me, and he's probably seen. I don't. Is there a worse Rangers team than what we've seen on Sunday, Davy? If there is, I beg to differ. But that's my problem. That's my problem.
You're heading in the right direction now, Stevie. Aye, you're definitely. I've been there 60 odd years, and there's been a lot more garbage and that been thrown about. It's just the way they got beat. But I went to see Rangers against Celtic, the Scottish Cup final, and I hardly even get in the park. And Billy McNeil scored for a corner, and we get beat 4-0. And things like that happen. But you come back, you don't just turn around and you say what you think. But I say it to my friends, I'm not coming on the radio and letting that man come up, lap it up and say, oh, I say, oh, did you hear him last night? That's what gets to me. That's more annoying for me and the team. It's always only fueling their fire. It shouldn't happen.
There's better Rangers teams and squads we've had, Davy. I went up there and capitulated in all of the past. You know?
Of course.
But it is the meltdown. It's social media. It's people that we all watched it. So we can only. Some will be more critical than others. Some probably want the manager out. We've seen.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you here, but what I'm trying to make the point here. Sorry for interrupting.
No, on you go.
But I made a point on the show a wee while back, and this is a concern that I have, and it keeps bringing up the same guy, and it's not just his fault. But I said it a wee while back, and I think I said it to you at the game against Ross County. If we play that formation, and we play Tavernier where he plays, and he doesn't change it, we're in trouble. And it's happening. And if he doesn't see that and changes it, then I think we've got a concern.
Aye, I think you're right in what you say, Stevie.
Aye, I can't say. Listen, I can't argue with old Davy. What Davy's saying's right. We need to keep things out of the house. And Tav, listen, there's no two ways about it. He's like half a year off it now. He really is. The boy he does living in his head, and the captain, he's just know himself, and he's totally right. Is it really Tav's fault? He keeps playing him. He keeps playing him, and we all know what he's doing. You know, we all know what happens to him. You know, it is what it is. I've got a lot of football to play. I've just got to dig my heels, draw a line, get behind the team. There's nothing else we can do. And I keep saying get behind the team, and I know that pees off a lot of people I know. But what do? Do you just keep ripping them apart? That's not going to get us anywhere. You're right. It's not going to get us anywhere. You know, look, the disappointing thing for me is, and I said this a while back, and when you look at James Tavernier's stats, you're saying, wow, for right back, what he's done, how many games, the longevity we've got out the boy and the loyalty, right? There's no two ways about it. He's been a good servant to the club. But, man, he's not a captain and he's not a defender. He's better at going forward. That's where you see his qualities, when he's gone forward. And if we're going to try and play the boy as a defender, we're not doing him any favours.
Correct.
I think we've been joined by Smurf. How you doing, mate?
Aye, no bad. I've taken some advice from Old School Blue, and I've downloaded Skype, so hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So if you can't, I'm at a loss.
Good evening.
No, I'm all good. I've just listening to what you were saying, and see, really, you know, we get turned there, right? We get we get a tanking, and you can say, right, you look at it maybe a 3-0 loss. But see, it's all fine margins and all. You know, Proper doesn't slip. That gets cut out, right? If Jack Butland was in his goal rather than, I don't know what he was doing, then Kyogo wouldn't have been able to pass the ball into an empty net, right? And then that only leaves a screamer to win the game.
You're right.
So let's face it. There's a boy who's played his second or third game for Rangers, and he slips. Sets the centre half proper. Looked a proper Charlie when he done it, right? And then that costs us that first goal. Well, there was other events leading up to it, but what I'm saying is he's there to defend it, and he slipped. If he doesn't slip, that's not a goal. And like I said, Butland is. You've got to be. That's the worrying thing for me. Everybody's talking about Tab's finished this. See that mistake with Butland. Honestly, the last 6 months, you watch that guy. You watch him for that cup final onwards.
Yeah.
Because there's a cup final. I'm sitting there going like that. Bearing in mind the contract he'll be on. He's not going to be on buttons. I'm sitting there thinking, should we cash in on him and get a keeper that's as good as him on far cheaper money? Because in two Old Firm games in succession, he's Celtic jerseys. And that was worse than the cup final. That mistake against them there in that game was worse than the cup final. So it was. That was unforgivable.
You can get back to the game at Ibrox and all. In the 3-each game, I thought he was suspect. Listen, he has been in the big games. I don't know, Stevie, and then I'll come to Davey. I don't know if maybe the England thing and all the carry on that came with that sort of turned his head. But I did say he's had bad moments in a jersey, and that was probably the worst that we've seen since he came in. He's had other bad moments, but that was the worst on Sunday for his positional sense and where he is. And I think in big games he's maybe looked nervous or something, I don't know. But he's not looked the keeper he had been. He's had some good saves. He's a decent keeper. But he's been found wanting against them now on a number of occasions, in a number of games, Stevie, where you thought he would probably saved it.
I've got to say, Southside, I can only agree with Smurf. What Smurf says, he's been absolute woeful. The big games, he's been totally woeful, and I disagree with you, Southside, when I say maybe his head's been turned with the England thing. I disagree with that. He's just been absolute brock. I mean, Kyogo passed that ball into the net. He was a mile away to the one side. He dropped the ball to the Aida in the cup final. He's made big blunders, mate, and he doesn't. I really don't know. He was on a great run there where he was outstanding, and he has pulled up big saves in European games and stuff like that. But against them, no, he's no. I would honestly, as it is now, I've got to agree with Smurf. If somebody came in for him now with decent money, I would sell him. I really would. And just how I'm feeling about it. That's just, I'm saying it how I'm seeing it. And as it is now, I know he's one of my biggest assets, but I would honestly sell him if somebody came in with decent money for him. What I've seen.
I think they had a media goal at Ibrox. I think he should have used his feet in that. I thought something like Gorham or McGregor would have done that. You know, he was good with his feet in that. Davey, he's had no good moments against them. He's had some decent saves. He did a save there at Hampden the other week where we could have went one down before we got up the park to score. If you remember, the boy just drilled it for the outside the box, and he was decent in a few games in Europe. But aye, in the big games where you get judged more harshly, he's been found wanting in a lot of the games, Dave, or making mistakes, let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's dead easy to sit there and watch a game and criticise people, but it's a different game when you're playing in it. I agree with everything that's been said when you're talking about Butland, you know, but I mean, you could go over each individual players and say, well, he looked at what he done and look what he done, and that's not going to help us in any sense of going forward. I don't think we've any chance of selling him. I don't think that's ship sailed on that. I think, unless, I don't even know if you can transfer him, but I'm not even getting as far down the road as that. Sorry.
Sorry, David. No, my point is, it's not an ability thing. The guy's got the ability. He's got ability. You don't get a dozen caps for England if you have no ability. He's a very good goalkeeper, and he's got great ability. But I just wonder, is it a character thing? The last thing you need is a goalkeeper who's a confidence player. Like, everybody's a confidence player ultimately when it comes to it. But what I'm saying is, your Andy Gorhams and all that, they didn't have nerves. They were just, they took it as a personal insult if they lost a goal. It was everything to them. Their goal was sacrosanct. And I just don't want a guy whose crisis is a confidence between the sticks, regardless of his ability. He's got fantastic ability, but it just seems to me that he's not getting, maybe just not got the character. I don't know what it is, but it's a worrying trend. 3-0 firm games.
Oh,
and it's a bottle thing. Maybe it is. But what I'm saying is, see the goal. That goal he lost the other day. I can't remember a worse goal getting given away by a Rangers keeper. Yeah. I just can't think of one. That was horrendous. I mean, that was, I don't know, how far was Kyogo, and he just passed it into the net. It's a joke. So, look, I'm not sitting here trying to rewrite history and say we didn't get turned out. We get leathered, we get battered. But let's face it, we missed, say, 3 gilt-edged chances, right? They missed about 3 gilt-edged chances. They were gifted the first goal, proper slip. You can't legislate for that. It was a mistake, so it happens, right? The lead up to that goal, you could dissect that, you're blue in the face and pick faults. But ultimately, if that guy didn't slip, that's not a goal. The second goal, the keeper was AWOL. And he had an empty net to pass into. So really, when you distill it down, and I'm not trying to sort of airbrush this, don't misconstrue what I'm saying, but when you distill it down, that, as battered as we were, that game was really, what really it came down to was McGregor scored a screamer. And we deserved to get beat. And if we get beat 3-0 and Proper didn't slip and he was in the right position, we still couldn't complain if the goals came for, other areas at different times in the game. But I think we all go overboard. We maybe overanalyse it, you're emotional and all that. That's why I've not phoned in since the game.
Correct.
It's we go overboard. See, when you let the dust settle and you look at it, it was bad, but it stinks. It's a lot is not what they done. It's what we done. What we done wrong.
See, when you get to my age, Mark, you know the dust. You know the dust is settling.
I'm happy.
It's right.
I'm only kidding.
It's right, Smurf. There is always going to be a backlash, and people we're all football experts, right? But to give everybody credit out there, I think there'd be a lot of the support out there, Stevie, that would say that we're not really happy with the system. Now, the system might improve when you get a proper number 6. We've got a proper number 9. We've got a winger out there that, like Cortez, fit, that we're hoping, or the manager believes and Cotton believes that he will do the business. We need to see it consistently. So we need to see a run of games with the players in their position back fit. But in the system, according to him, might work. But at the moment, in the meantime, we don't see it working, Stevie. And then come back in a minute, Smurf. Stevie, we've all said that we think we should tweak it and probably do a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2 in Scotland. No?
Listen, he's got to... Look, I would love nothing more for him to change it. I would love nothing more for him to change it, because if he's going to be stubborn, Southside, at some point, the Bears are getting fed up as it is. He's going to end up losing his job through being stubborn. He needs to change it. He needs to change it up. There's different opposition out there. Surely he could change it up. Surely we could go even 3 at the back at some point and play 2 up front. You know what I mean? Some of these games. But listen, look, I'm not seeing. I know they're just a new bunch. There's a lot of new guys just come in there, a lot of new personnel. They're trying to find a rhythm. They're trying to find a style. We can see that. We know that. But unfortunately, it's a results-driven business, and we need to start. We need to win these big games. Rangers fans are impatient. You know what kind of crowd we are. You know what like the Bears are. When it comes to them, we've got to start seeing results.
Yeah.
Aye, we do, Davey, and that's how I kept saying it's how we show a reaction in the next game that we've got to play is Dundee United at Tannadice.
Yes, you're right, Susie. I made a comment a few years back here on the show, and I'll probably get it again when I mention it. And I said it at the time, and I said, we Rangers supporters, and I'm talking about quite the majority of them, have the impression that we have a divine right to win every game. Life doesn't work like that. Football doesn't work like that. So you need to batten down the hatches and just let's see where we're going to head for, guys. But no team's got the divine right. I know we want to. Of course we want to win every game. We're Glasgow Rangers. That's what it means. But you've got to let the dust settle and collect your marbles again. This is the way we're carrying on the new year. I just think it's OT.
So Smurf, as we've spoken about it, the way forward, looking at the squad that we've got, we'll probably touch on it after the tune. It's about if it's Clemente sticks to the system, then maybe Benjami coming in, maybe he is going to be the difference in the number 10 role for us. It might make a difference, and we just start to build it to get the players back fit and just keep playing the system. But maybe certain players back will maybe make the difference coming back into the team.
Like, as far as I'm concerned, you've got to analyse a game, each game by game basis. Look at your opposition, look how they play, and then set your team up according to your opposition to get the win. And you've got to be flexible. I mean, unless you're 2 sitting midfielders and your number 10 or Xavi, Iniesta and Messi, I think you've got to take that pragmatic approach. You've got to look what's in front of you. How's the best way to get a result here, and set your team out accordingly. And in the majority of the games in our league, he can be dogmatic and stick to his formula and expect to win the majority of the games. But it's not working that way against them. And so he's got to change it, because all he's going to do is bring pressure on himself. But I get what you're saying. The point of what you're saying is that when you get the right players of the right quality in, then it'll make a difference. And I hope it makes a difference. It's got to make a difference. But whatever happens, this manager's not going anywhere unless he quits. Because we've got to go through a process, and that process is ongoing. You look at the end of the season, Balogun's away. There's Tom Lawrence's contract's up, so then there's another sort of purge going to happen at the end of the season. I don't know who it was. Might even be yourself. It says it'll take 3 Windies. I think it could take 3 years to build this team. It took Steven Gerrard 3 years, and I think we're back to square one when Gerrard came in. I think we're more or less back in the same position. And if he was afforded 3 years with probably better funding, then I think, because Clement's creating his own funding, I think Clement's got to be afforded the 3 years. There's going to be bumps in the road. We've got two Champions League ties against two English Premiership teams. You know, that could be 15-0 over the course of 2 games. You know what I mean? It is what it is, and we just need to go through this process and see where we're at the end of it. There's no easy, quick fix to this, and it's going to take time. There's no revolution here. There's no soonest revolution. It's an evolution or nothing. And anybody you bring in, they're just going to have to evolve it as well. Nobody's going to have a revolution because we can't do it. We're not allowed to do it.
No, I was going to mention that in the second part of the show about 3 or 4 players that are still in the squad. And if you probably look at how much they're picking up in wages, that's probably hampered it as well. Because if we'd managed to get them out the door, which I think we will, well, some might go January and other ones might go next summer, but you'd like to maybe even think January we might get rid of a couple, Stevie, because if we free up certain wages, if we could, I'll just say it now, Matondo, Lawrence, Hadji and Tavernier, they 4 players and the amount of money they're picking up on a weekly basis, that would have given a lot more money.
Sorry to interrupt you. No, I was going to say the other boy that they got for Norwich and all, what's his name?
Aye, Kieran Dowell.
Kieran Dowell, he can go enough.
Aye, so if you look at that, the now, that's a lot of money that Clement could have had to work with if we could have got these people out the door.
Another thing is as well, you know, he's doing the right thing. He's trying to get guys for the new, guys for the future when they present themselves. Financial fair play. Everybody's trying to get that rough diamond, that, you know, Glenn Kamara for 50 grand and he goes for 10 million eventually. Every club in Europe's looking for that guy. So the difference between our league and other leagues is there's development leagues, there's reserve leagues, there's some countries have got colt teams. We've got none of that. So when we get these development guys in, we've got them. And then what they're going to do, they're going to train all week and then sit in the stand or play a bounce game. So he's really got to bring these guys in and put them into his first team squad. I think when Balogun goes, I don't see a big centre-half coming in to replace him. I think the boy to go to Milan's got to get into the squad. Because how's he going to develop?
That's the thing, Smurf. Aye, he's not going to get tested, and I mean he'll probably play on Saturday in the Cup against Fraserburgh in the Challenge Cup, Stevie. That'll be his game time, but that's nothing comparing him. Should we get a couple of injuries and suddenly he's going to go in and play in the Europa League first game against Malmo away, it's a totally different game for what he was playing against Fraserburgh at Capello, Stevie.
It's no half. It's definitely no half. But listen, see if you're a young player, right? You're looking, but you're watching. I mean, you're sitting there watching it the way we are. You've got to come out with a bit of swagger and say, I can do better than that. I mean, we've got enough shrinking violet, so you're a young boy. This is your chance. Go out there and do the damage. By the way, we've got a lot of big games coming up here in Europe, and man, I think most days will be watching it through our fingers. We've got to honestly, we've got to hit the ground running here. We've got to draw a line and move on and try and come up with something. It's kind of frightening the ties we've got coming up, and I'm usually positive, and I'm usually saying right, okay, right, but I just didn't see anything that's making me think that things are going to get better. That's the problem I've got. That's the problem.
I'll be watching it through a colander.
Well, they're going to be good games, and that's the thing. They're going to be good games to watch, and hopefully, as Clement has told us, by the time we get to October, November, we'll be doing well. We'll be good. But if all you that are on the show the now, would like to hit mute, we're going to have a tune, and then what we'll do is we've got David for Cumbernauld wanting to come on the show, so we'll get David called up and David can come in and join us. So if you would like to go on mute, we're going to hear a tune.
They say this day that I must die. Well, I fought that evil band, and I freed my native land. And they say this day that I must hang. So build my gallows, build them high, that I might see before I die the Antrim Glen, the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the lights of home. The Antrim Glens, the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the lights of home.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Thanks to Old School Blue. He likes an upbeat tune, Stevie.
Makes a wee change for ultrasonic, eh?
It's quite funny, actually. For some reason, when the tune comes on, there's a graph that we can see, and suddenly when the tune comes on at 9 o'clock, this graph seems to have loads of disappearing people. And then just about a minute, or probably 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes later, they all start to come back onto the graph. So that must be the people that don't like the tune at 9 o'clock.
Listen to the update. The lassies here,
Yes.
they've capitulated. They're getting beat 4-0 now. They lost 2 goals there in 2 minutes, then another quick one. But 77 minutes gone, it's 4-0 to Arsenal. You can just see the depth and quality Arsenal ladies have got, the amount of money they're pumping into their game, and look at the crowd that's there. My. Some of the Premier Division doesn't even get that, Scottish Premier Division. The crowd there's a great crowd, but it's just a gulf in depth, and the lassies have done us proud in the Scottish League. But your comfort zone, this is the things that happen.
Well, like they say,
Yeah.
listen, you can scud teams in Scotland, but sometimes when you get into Europe, you get scudded yourself, mate, and we've seen them many a time. But it was a tough game for the ladies, but I think we'll be joined. If you guys would like to just hold on and then go into mute, I think we'll be joined by David. All right, David?
Evening, lads.
How you doing, pal?
David,
Just still in the depths of fucking darkness here with this team, man. It's like Clement put out his strongest 11. I don't think anybody can say that he didn't. And honestly, it's been nowhere near them. We've got to hold our phones up and say that. It's the only thing that's like I'm holding out hope with is that he's saying that around about October, November time we'll start to see the real Rangers, but we can't wait that long. The season's already started. We've already lost 1-0 firm. About 3 years since we've had our last meaningful victory against them. Is this what we've become as Rangers? We're just another team. We can't just try and end together now. And honestly, there's nothing in that team coming off the bench either. It's the only people I can see that are coming off is that Albanian boy. I forget his name, and maybe Hadji if he lets him come back in. Everybody else is not going to make a big difference in this team.
I'll go to Stevie and Smurf and then Davey. Stevie, you want to reply to David?
Aye, Davey, I said that earlier on. There's no big difference coming off the bench. I don't think, there's nothing that's going to change the game for me. And it's just the things like that there. Hadji, you've got a player sitting there that can maybe play the number 10 role. I know we've signed the Albanian boy, and he's giving us all. That's our glimmer of hope in it. We're hoping he can hit the ground running. Or is he another one that's not going to play for the next 2 or 3 games because he's not up to speed? You know, how do we buy players? We need to wait months to see them because they're no fit or they're no up to speed or there's paperwork or there's always something. But I can't disagree with much of what David says. You know, it's we just need to dig our heels in. You know, and it's as plain and simple as that. But I don't think Clement's going to get a lot of time what people think. I know Smurf was saying this might take us 3 years. If Smurf thinks that we're going to give Clement 3 years, I mean, I know he's already had about 8-9 months of that, but there's no way in the world. I just can't see him getting that length of time. So if we get beat at Ibrox with the kiddie fiddlers again, do you think Clement's going to be there much longer after that? I can't see it. I really can't see it.
I think I'll go to Smurf and then Davey. I think, listen, we go to the next game. We get Benjamin in the team. You're going to, hopefully, I don't know, but you think Cortez will come in and play regular. He might pick Danilo or the other boy because he might get another couple of weeks down the line. He might come into the team. He might create chances. He might score. There could be, the team could change, as in maybe clicking a bit better and going forward. We're only having to beat teams in Scotland, so if we can start half doing it against Dundee United, build momentum, you deal with them when they come down the road, whatever fixture it is. There's no point in worrying about can we beat them in, will we beat them in. It's about us, Smurf, getting a team together. If he wants to take Tav out now, this is the time to take him out. This is the time to put Sterling in there and build a team that he's for what he's got. And I think the Albanian boy Benjamin, I think he's got the attributes. I think he's quick, he's fast, he works hard. For all reports that I've heard about him, he's got work ethic. He's done it with the Albanian national team. He done it when he played in Italy. As they need to be disciplined in there to play in Italy, defend, work hard. So any reports I've heard about him, he seems to be that type of player, Smurf. And I'll come to David, and we'll come back to David.
Look, it's always going to come down to what we do. Philip Clement's remit is to put the best Rangers team on the pitch that he can. So all this stuff about Tav and how we gracefully sort of usher him out the team, you just need to drop him and that's it. He's miles off it, and he's got to put his strongest team in the park. In terms of the bench, looking at what have you got coming off? Well, what he's got is a legacy, and they're trying to undo. They're trying to get people at the door, etc. It's going to take a long time, and I get what Big Stevie's saying. I think he needs 3 years. I don't think he'll get 3 years. I think Stevie Gerrard got 3 years because he was Steven Gerrard, and because Dave King would backed him to the hilt. But I don't think Clement will get it. But I think whoever comes in is going to need it, because we've got that much sort of dross that we need to get out the door to get the relevant quality in. And however many players we bring in, you bring 10 players in, 3 might be damp squibs, they might be no good. That's true of any club. So we don't have a lot of strength and depth, and we don't have a lot coming off the bench. But unfortunately, we can't go and remedy that. We can't do anything about it. We just need to go with what we've got, and that will come down. Walter Smith in this situation was gifted. He would make a purse out of sow's ear, gets us to a Europa League final with it. And it's that kind of know-how and being a pragmatist and knowing how to set up to get results is what will take us forward and ultimately keep Philip Clement in a job.
The thing about Walter is, Walter wasn't a great tactician at times, no. Oh, you look at Walter, I mean, I watched Rangers in Europe under Walter, no, especially away from him. Wasn't he very tactical? We parked the bus in certain games in Barcelona and all that. I get it. And they got us to the final, but when we got to that final in Manchester, we should have played an attacking team and went for them that day, no matter who was against us. And we stuck to the same style, thinking that would get us through. And it didn't. No. So managers do make mistakes, I think, at times. Sometimes they're stubborn. Davey, sometimes they're just stubborn and they'll believe it And let's be honest, if the 5 players we named earlier, if it'd all been good and well, they 5 walked out the door a bit earlier. There's a hell of a lot of money sitting there that Clermont could have added 4-5 players to that squad. No bother, but unfortunately we couldn't get them all out the door. And that be Dill, Matondo, Hadji, Tavernier, and probably Dessers if he hadn't said no to the deal. So we could have freed up a lot of money, and we might have had a lot more players in the door. That we had a suspect start. We've only had 1 draw and 1 defeat. It's a sore one to take, but there's no point in dwelling on, David. It's about how you react to it in the next game.
Hold
on, Smith. Let David come in first, mate.
Sorry?
On you go, David.
Oh, I thought your Smurf was there. Aye, you're spot on as usual. But regarding getting back to young David, I understand completely how they're all feeling like that. And it's always a hard thing to accept getting beat with that puddle drinkers. It's just the way we're getting beat. But I still believe you've got to give this guy. I mean, this is everybody's jumping off the high flats already. That's a nonsense. Come on, you need to take a step back here and look at the big picture. He's got a lot of a little bit of time now with the international break. He's got some other players. Let's see that try and become a team. And if it continues on, then you jump off the roof. No renew. We've got a great saying, and it's the cry was no surrender. And I've never heard so many people want to chuck it already. The league's gone, this is gone. That's a nonsense. That's not us. That's my rant.
David.
It's not just the now, it's the last 3 years. Honestly, it's both in the last 3 years. Is that Rangers? No. But it's the thing is, as Rangers fans, we can accept getting beat now and again as long as there's fight in the team, as long as there's passion in the team. There's no fighting passion in that team, not one. Fighter passion at that game, honestly. And it's all well and good saying eventually we might have to get rid of him, but that's another manager in 4 years. You know what I mean? It's horrendous what we're doing. We're history a club, so we keep managers quite a long time. We've not had a lot of managers if you look through a history comparatively to other teams of a similar size. It's just, I feel like it's no him. I don't think it's him. It's the board that's managed us through these horrible times. It really is. I think he lacks a wee bit of local knowledge as well. I think Alex Ray's obviously there for that, but I mean in the team, Connor. What's his name? John Suter. And Connor Barron's only 2 Scottish boys in the team, and maybe the rest of the team just don't totally get what it is to play for Rangers and what it is to play in this type of game. But there's other people that have been there for a long time that should know what it is to play in this game. But maybe they're bringing the wrong kind of experience into that team, the kind of experience where we're not expected to win this game. But I'm not saying we should expect to win every single game, right? We should be going out there, at least being ready to win. Within the first 10 minutes, they gave up. That's no Rangers for me. That's what it is for me. It's a mentality thing. I can take getting beat. I mean, we've lasted bloody 3 years there. You know what I mean? And even longer before that, coming back up for the doldrums and back. And I think we've showed as Rangers fans that we've supported the team through thick and thin, and we always will. But if a team can give you something to hold on to, then you can hold on. But honestly, can any of you say what you've got to hold on to? There's hardly anything in that team there that's giving me light at the end of the tunnel, if I'm being brutally honest.
I think right now, David, you can only go with who he picks going forward from now on. I mean, when you're saying lack of experience in the team, we had Tav and we had Suter, right? Proper was making his debut. Should have experience, but you know what the fixtures are like. Listen, loads of players have no turned up in the games over the years. And for us, when you would expect them to, and you had Yefty making his debut, Diamondi and Barron are young boys and all, and maybe the occasion for the instruction that we're under. And listen, that mob across the city have got good movement. They're drilled in what they do. I think it just kills us all. As Stevie, as we said earlier, they looked like they were fitter, they were stronger, and they were faster, and first to every ball. I mean, when you're not matching that effort, then you're giving yourself a harder task than what you should be just when you start, mate.
Well, for me, better Rangers teams than that have went up to Parkhead and lost. It's how you lose. And that was the worrying thing for me. The worrying thing for me was I never seen any fight, guile, determination, nothing. I never seen any personal duels getting won. I never seen nothing. I mean, what was the stat you quoted? 41 times we get the ball away between three players. I mean, how are you going to win any game doing that? Getting the ball away cheaply to the opposition all the time. Listen, it's how we get beat. It's really hurting me. I never seen Tav, the captain, shouting at anybody. Come on, you get your finger out. Let's go. Clap these horns, making the fist pump sign. Nothing. Who did he pin against the wall? Who was arguing in the dressing room and all that lot? When they went back into the dressing room after getting done the way they get done, who was arguing with each other? Who did Clement pin against the dressing room wall and say, you're a disgrace? Nothing. They're too nice. They're all nice boys. They've got a mindset of, this is just a football match. If that's what they think, get the jersey off. Because it's more than a game of football, and it means more to the boys starting, all right, we weren't there in the stands, but they know what they've got behind them. And if they're not going to fight and die for that jersey and keep us guys happy, it's paying their wages, they've got to learn that that was the big game. That was their time to come out and show the Rangers fans that we're different this year. We're a wee bit rusty. We're trying to find each other, but we're going to show you at least something. They showed us nothing. Jogging back, no one in second balls, no fight. They were beat when they get off the bus. That's the thing that's frightening me. That's the whole thing that's getting me. I can't take any positives out the game at all. Nothing.
Can I come in on that, Stevie?
You certainly can.
On you go, Davey.
Right, see tomorrow. You get all that boys for the Drum Chapel football, and I'll take you out to a sports shop and buy you football boots. And you can take them out, because that's the type of attitude we need. And you're dead right, but at the moment, it's just it's lacking. There's no saying it's not there. It might appear, but that's the thing I think it's really getting to everybody. So, but if we give them a bit of time, just let's calm down and stop getting a puddle drink or something to rattle their beads about, right? Something.
Davey, I'll give you one about the puddle drinkers. They play young boys. Is that getting played at Parkhead, or is that getting played in the High Court?
Hey, we'll see if we can fill up with more callers, so let's hear from you.
Very good.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
David, are you there? David?
What one? The old one or the young one?
The young one.
That's not me then.
Somebody just left. I'm not sure if it was David or not. I was going to ask him something. Are you there? No, he's maybe left.
Was that no Elvis? Is that no Elvis you're talking about?
Maybe he'll come back. Listen, as we talked about, it's probably now it's a time that the first thing the team need to do, in my eyes, is in the very next game, is to come out, show the heart and fight and desire straight away, effort for the get go. Whether certain players play well or no, they'll be judged on that game. but we need to come out because all the support, or the vast majority, or just about everybody will say the same thing. No heart desire or anything like that on the day. So starting at Dundee United, Davy, that's when you've got to start, and that's got to be applied for the off and every other game after that going forward, or you'll be called out in it.
Correct. Well, Bridgeman's always got a famous saying. He's saying the next game's the biggest game. Well, this is going to be the biggest game, because this is what happens when you get beat with that monkey mob. You want the reaction, and that's what we're all looking for. So if we can, that's a hard game to get up there, because they're no our favourite mob. They don't like us, we don't like them. So we can go up there and see any kind of improvement for that, what you call football match on Sunday. I think people maybe come down a wee bit, but that's a lot of pressure I put on myself, and he's put a lot of pressure on himself too. But I'm always confident when I watch the Rangers that they'll turn up. It's just the new that's just not been happening, and that's what's a bit as worrying as well.
Aye, it's nothing worse than getting beat off that mob, and then you've got to look at you obviously look at the team performance, and you're going to be critical. But obviously on the plus side, we're going back to Ibrox for the cup game, and then all you're looking for is a decent performance on the day. Don't think we're in a position where we might have been in the past, Stevie, where we might have made a couple of changes and brought the young boys in. I think that game and the Dundee United game, I think I would like to see him try and keep a bit of consistency. I know you're playing Europe the following week, but we need to try and get a bit of continuity, I think, into the team, the starting 11, I think.
Listen, if you're Clement, you're going to play your best team. You're going to make sure you win these games. He can't afford to maybe bring young boys in as they win any of these games. He's got to win these games. He's starting to go under pressure now, Southside. He's got to win these games. He can't take chances now with the young boys. That's the whole thing. He's got to try and figure out, get my best squad that's available who is the injured on that part and win these games and try and get a wee bit of momentum behind them. Big man's starting to get under pressure now, and it's for the Rangers support more than anybody. He needs to win these games and probably need to win them convincingly.
See, realistically, Davey, right, when he was at the start of the season, you've seen the transfer window, right? You've seen the business he got in, but we've managed to get in, right? The board have obviously looked at it and thought, right, we're probably going to get beat here and there, possibly. Can't win every game. We're rebuilding a team, as you say. We want to win every game. Sorry, I'll come to Smurf next. We want to win every game, obviously, right? That's what you do when you're meant to beat Rangers, right? But what I'm trying to say is, they've probably looked at it, he's looked at it, knowing that at some point we're going to get a defeat or two coming along the road, but it's came early with the draw and the defeat and the manner of that draw and that defeat. But realistically, he is trying to build a squad, and if you take out maybe what we say about his tactics, this was probably going to come down the road as much as we didn't want to think it.
Yeah. Well, Smurf made a good point, a great point, I thought, when he was talking about, if you look back, well, a lot of, in the occasions, there's a lot of small margins. You can analyse it and pick out different kind of margins. The one, for a start, that game at Hampden in the European Cup qualifier, I still say, and I'll argue it to my dying day, if that game had been at Ibrox, we'd have done them. It's hypothetical, I know, but we'd have done them at Ibrox. And a few other things, the way we've lost a couple of goals. Sorry.
I'll give you a better rein than that. If the referee doesn't saying you have to have, I thought we might have done them. He changed the game.
That's what I'm saying. That's a big margin. That's not a small margin. I mean, that's just where we are, but I still think we're not ready for jumping after high flat shot.
That's the thing, we're coming into Europe, Smurf and all. We're probably coming into the competition where we know we've done relatively well. We've got games at Ibrox where the support can carry the team, as I've said, and we've watched. It gives them extra bit of adrenaline. I think it's going to be a journey, and Europe's unforgiving. No matter what you play in, whether you're playing in the top league or you're playing in the Europa League, you make mistakes in Europe, you normally get punished.
Look, Europe.
Unlike in Scotland, most of the time I'm talking to, like, comparing it mostly in Scotland, you know.
I will. Look, Europe's not going to be. See this Europa League draw. Many people have said it. It's harder than Celtic's Champions League draw that we've got, and and ultimately we're a work in progress. We're now a project in transition, and because of the rules around everything, it's going to take a period of time. And unfortunately, Europe doesn't take that into account. It doesn't wait for it. And we're, I think we'll go in some games. We'll get a great account of ourselves, and you'll see improvement. But we've got some gargantuan tasks ahead of us. We've got to go to Old Trafford and play a team that are far better than that Celtic team that just turned us out. And we've got Spurs coming to Ibrox, which is going to be a great occasion. And it's going to be difficult. So people just need to lose their mind and understand where they are. It's going to be an evolutionary process. There's no overnight fix for us. And just be a wee bit understanding. And it's hard to be patient. You're a Rangers fan, it's hard to be patient. But people have said that the game the other day, Rangers look spineless. And in a literal sense, they were. We need, for all Connor Goldson, take him for example, all his defensive frailties and the mistakes that was in him, etc., etc. He was vocal and he was actually a good organiser. We need a commanding, aggressive, fast, powerful centre half in our team that can, and an organiser. We need that. We need, through the spine of our team, we need a number 6 with experience that can play that role, a specialist in that role. We've got the number 10. He's been out and signed him. And we probably need an appropriate striker to go forward. So the fine margins really was, although Clement's made additions, he's actually missing probably, because he plays with a 10, you've got 4 up that spine, and really he's missing 3 of them, in my opinion. A 6, a centre half, and a centre forward. And that's where you'll see a change in the Rangers team when these 3 positions are addressed.
I think the Dutch boy we've signed, I would like to think he'll go in and play on the right-hand side of the defence, Stevie, and probably play beside Proper. That's what I would like to think was going to happen. And I would like to think that Sterling will just go in at right back and do that job that you want him to do. First and foremost, defend. No let players get to the byline and get balls across. I'm not too interested whether he goes up the park and tries to cross the ball, because we play with wingers, Stevie. And we should be trying to play through the midfield and through the number 10. So his job should be just to defend and maybe push up the halfway line, whatever it is we do. But that would like to think that would make you like to think with the 2 players we've just signed as centre backs and putting Sterling at right back would make your defence a lot more solid.
Aye, I'd like to think the 2 players we've signed's going to get in there right away and try and get them embedded in there, working, finding how the team works and how the other players run about them. Mark, I want the big guy to get in straight away. Put it this way, he can't be any worse than what we've seen against Celtic there. Come on. And I hate saying things like that, but it's true. The big guy must come in. He must get his chance. We've no bolting for, well, Nick, is he alone or did we buy him? I think we got him, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. I think we got him on loan with an option to buy.
You want to make in with an option to buy, so you want to make in there right away, mate. You want the boy, the the number 10 to get in there right away. We're badly needing it. Smurf's right. If you get these three positions filled with somebody that knows what they're doing, you'll see a better team altogether. 110%. Look, it's all about time, and when you're a Rangers fan, you've got to hit the deck running. A player, you've got to hit the deck running. It's as plain and simple as that. We've no got time now. Time's slipping away from us. If we lose any more ground, I mean, come on. We can't afford to do it. We need to get in there. We need to draw a line in the sand. Hopefully Clement will change it up for whatever opponents he's got. He'll use different tactics. He's got a big enough squad there now, as you know, and he's not got as many injuries as what we had to have in the past. So, I mean, you've got wee Thingy coming back, the wee Belgian coming back. So, you're hoping that's going to make a wee difference too and give them options. But listen, you want these new players to come in and hit the ground running. Let's see what they can do.
We've got a few, Davey, away international duty now and all coming up, which is always going to be a worry because we can't afford for anyone to come back with injuries because we want to try and keep the strongest squad possible. But Connor Barron's been picked, I think, due to some of them pulling out, been added into the Scotland squad as well. So it's people that we've got away now that you're hoping they wouldn't maybe get picked, but he did make it clear in a couple of his interviews. When they asked him about Scotland, he was quite keen to go and play for Scotland. So I suppose it adds to your value when you're trying to sell a player as well going forward. And if he starts playing well, it puts more on your zeros at the end of it when people want to come in and buy you, Davey.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's always been a well-known sort of position that if you get picked for your country, it's a bit of the proudest thing. I mean, I got way back to Dennis Law and Alan Gilzine. And to me, they were Scottish players. This what we've got to know is no Scottish players. But I can understand when a young man wants to put the jersey on and hopefully what you say, he doesn't get injured. But I've got a funny, I'm not saying it will happen, but I don't, maybe any of them will get a game for their countries.
Well, Diamondi's away. There's a good chance. I think he switched to I think he picked who he wanted to play for. I think it's the Ivory Coast he picked. But listen, someone will probably want to go away and play for their country, but I would rather they probably were here, Smurf, and getting some training in and getting some tactical things done and playing this bounce game that he's going to have. I would rather they were here, just for the fact that we can't afford them to coming back with any injuries or anything, even at under 20 levels or 21 levels if some of them's been picked. I would hope Raskin didn't, and I would hope Cortez didn't if they had any games planned for any of them at their level, because they're just back for injury and they don't need to be with international duty.
No, and it's just, I mean, it happened last year with SEMA, didn't it? You know, that's the last thing we need. We need our players on the training park getting drilled in their jobs and in their roles going forward for the rest of the season. That's what we need to be doing. We need to become a slick, well-oiled machine. And behind the scenes, I'd like to think that the club are looking at getting into the loan market to get a number 6 of the appropriate quality, if there's one available. You know,
there's a list out, Smurf. There's a lot of players that are no get clubs. Don't get me wrong. There's some 29, 27. There's a few at 33 up to 34. But see, just in a short-term basis, some of the players have been no bad, and they might have been worth a punt for a 6 month or a period of time if they were fit enough to fill that plug in that gap that we need right now. If it was like you're talking about a number 6, say, so what if he's 33? Well, even a 6 months deal or something. If it was if we had a Ireland somebody in January that we might want to be getting in for, it was going to come to your club. So somebody temporary you could, but you might look at it and think, well, could you play Raskin as that? Fit, if he's fit, could you play him as that holding player?
Nah, I don't think he's got the experience to I'm thinking Europe, you know, you're going to go to Old Trafford, you're going to entertain Spurs and other teams as well. Can't be dismissive of anybody. I just think that number 6 role is so specialist. You need somebody where you need somebody like Stephen Davis, somebody that's got a bit of vision, that's calm under pressure, take the ball in tight areas and can play out, or is it intelligent enough when they know just to lump it up apart or whatever? You know what I mean? You need somebody who. No, Raskins missed a lot of football. He's only young. He's coming back from injury. The last thing we need to be doing is putting him into a role like that where he's you know, he's going to be under a lot of pressure. So I think he could play the role, but I think we need a number 6. We need to go into the guys that have been freed or whatever, and without a club, and actually get somebody with experience in. You know, somebody that is 28, 29, 30.
So I think what we really need to do, I think we all know, Stevie, is we need to get back to winning against Dundee United, get into the next round of the Cup, take care of Hibs at Ibrox, and Europe will be Europe as we go through. And I think it'll be topsy-turvy at times, but the main focus is just get back to winning ways in Scotland and try and get a run. And if that materialises, then we can see what we can do in the next transfer window, and we might have to play them twice. So that's when we can sort of judge it as we go along. But we need to get momentum and we need to start winning. And it starts against Dundee United, Stevie, because any more blips, it gets harder again. But they'll not go the full season undefeated. No chance. They'll know, you know. But they might not lose as many games as us. But so that's what we've got to judge it on. We've got to judge it when we play them a game, and it matters that we've got to win. So we need to get continuity, and we need to hope that Clement can get all these players back and we get the momentum moving and going until we play them the next time. And it's just about us staying in the hunt now all the way till then and wait to see if they slip up.
Aye. Listen, winning games breeds confidence, doesn't it? And you're hoping it snowballs. If we lose any more ground, no, it's just going to be a total disaster for Clement and that Rangers team, you know. And that's the truth. We have got to get back to winning ways as soon as we can't afford any more ground getting lost. And winning games, certainly, if we can snowball it, but definitely breed confidence outside. Dundee United away. I mean, I've still not got a ticket. Did you get your tickets?
I got. There was 13,500 applied for Tannadice. I got two through my jers. £33 a pop. So when you're talking about how we're going to price the Europa League, we're paying £33 to go to Tannadice, paid £33 to go to Tynecastle.
Yep.
So if you think you're going to get your Europa League package for £35 a pop, then I think that ain't happening. I think we're going more than that.
Yep. I think it'll be 50 quid again. I'm going to be honest.
Nah, it'll be 40 odds to 40, but 45 a pop maybe. There'll be slightly different prices. I think the Copeland was cheaper than bits of the main stand and things like that, and probably the Govan was probably, I think, behind I think the Brimlone sections of that would probably have been cheaper. Sometimes I've done it that way. Ox sits 10 rows in front of me, and he was 40. He was 30 or 40 quid dearer than me for a European game. And when they done the package, so they were, it was So they were grading it that way at one point, where you sort of sat in the stadium. Certain sections were getting charged dearer than other sections. But I think across the piece it'll be close to 40. Well, I'd like it to be about £40 a pop, but I think we'll probably be over 40 quid a pop. Would you think Davey at that?
I agree with everyone there. Just like go pop back a wee couple of conversations, see what you think of us regarding what we've been talking about earlier in the show. This is just what I'm like you see. It's just an honest opinion. Do you not think that the way the fixtures came out this season, that the European game and that Monkey Mob game were far too early for us? And I don't think that is any.
If I'm honest, thinking back, I might be wrong, but I think back to we used to play them on round about the end of August. It was usually maybe about the 4th game or the 5th game.
Yeah.
Usually it's round about that. If you remember, the supercomputer gave us, when did we play them? It was nearly October, September or something, wasn't it? After they kept it back for it was more or less one of the last fixtures out the first quarter. They done it, but usually it used to be round about then, Davey, from my memory. It used to be round about then, end of August, start of September. You'd normally play them in within the first 5 games.
I just think the fixtures, the way they come out and the way we are sitting as regrouping, they just all these games, Tynecastle, the European games, especially playing at Hampden, I just don't think that's done us any favours at all. And then playing that Monkey Mob right away, when they're settled down and running away. I don't think we were ready for
that. Aye, it was October. It was October. It was the first game we played them that year for some reason. But I've never known it to be as late as that for the first game, Rangers Celtic game ever. Really. Don't know about you think, Stevie, but it was never as late as that ever.
Look, it says iRadio on our badge, doesn't it? It doesn't matter. If we get a pre-season, we know what time the European games, they come early every year. It's the same time every year with the European games. I know what Davey's getting at, but I mean, I'm not one to get down the road of saying no, there was a bit of jiggery pokery I really like, but it is what it is, Davey. And your first point...
I'm meaning that, I know, Stevie, sorry for interrupting. I'm not meaning that in the way that we're drawn out. I'm just saying, at the moment where we are trying to rebuild, that's what I'm saying.
But that way with the new...
We're not ready to compete at that level. It showed against that Monkey Mob.
Well, do you know what it is? Do you know what it should show then? See, by the time we get to face them again, then we should be ready.
Correct.
We should be ready. You know, that's the thing. We should be ready. So that's what I look forward to, and that's what you've got to think it will happen. And you just got to go with the belief, because that's what you do. You don't watch Rangers or travel home and away and all that to watch them if you don't think we can win. That's just for me. I don't go to any game thinking Rangers can't win, Smurf. You know, whether that's your heart telling you maybe sometimes or your head. I get that. But you support the team, and if you're going to the game and you're making the effort and travelling, then you honestly not going up there going, well, what would the point of you going? You'd as well just sitting in the house. So I've always got belief that Rangers can win, mate. You know?
You probably have, I mean, that's what it's about. And see, when we get back to Ibrox, don't underestimate the bounce we'll get just by the sheer fact we're back in Ibrox. That's going to be massive. That's going to be massive for us. Don't underestimate that. You're back. You're back in your own digs. You feel at home. It's your spiritual home, and the fans will react better to that. The players will react better to that. And guys that have just signed for the club, you know, that have never even played at Ibrox yet.
Yeah.
You know, they need to get bedded in there and readjusted with a full house. You know, but 30,000 turning up at Hampden. It's a whole different dynamic. And then for there, you can start implementing Sterling at right back. The big Dutch boy they brought in, putting him beside Proper. You've got Jeff Day at left back. If he goes into the market, and he would be a full 90, I'll say this. I've been thinking about actually the about we were talking about we're asking can he play as a 6? He can't pass the ball too well. We've said that for you go there. We've all dug him out on that one year. So he needs a number 6, and he's got his number 10. And if he gets Cortex back on the wing, and I think you've got Czerny. It's a different dynamic. It's a new team. The guts of a new team. The nucleus of a new team. And with a crowd behind them, and a bit of coaching, and a few wins, it's great for the confidence. The coin will turn. You've just got to stick with it, and just get behind the team.
Aye, Davey, because you can have probably Ridvan coming back. You've got Ignamani, you've got Danilo and all. You add to that, and with the new signings, hopefully Czerny's going to get up to speed a bit better and all. It is going to be Cortez back for injury. It's going to be a healthier squad, hopefully, and it's just that the pressure's put on them. The pressure's put on them when they walk in the door, but it's magnified now because everybody's looking at them. All eyes are on the board, all eyes are on the manager, and they're certainly on the players. So need to live with that responsibility. But we've got a freshness there that we can change it, and it's just a matter of making sure that displays look a bit better, and the fact that you get back to winning.
I'd just like to put a wee message out to every Rangers supporter who listens in and every Rangers supporter on the planet. I'll guarantee you guys, you will not see another performance like that one when they go to Ibrox. There you are. And I'll buy you all the drink in the planet. I'll take Suicide up for 10 games of golf. You'll not see that happening at Ibrox, that performance. I guarantee it.
David, I've got a bottle of tequila here. You should have dressed up, come out and see a drink.
Well, you know I don't drink, and even I don't drink after that load of... That's it. We do not surrender, guys. And I'll guarantee you, you will not see that performance at Ibrox again. And as first said, that's a whole different ball game. When you got all that mob on your tail and you guys, they're all going nuts at them. Once we get back to our own midden, you'll see a difference. And I think by that time we should have a more settled team.
We've been unlucky and all. I mean, if we'd get one or two men out the door, if you get Hadji out the door, if you go... I can't even mind that boy's name. The one that came from Norwich. If you got him out the door, you might have get Seaman in the door. You might have get Seaman in the door. He'd have made a difference because he can play left, right, and centre. So he gives you options. You know what I mean? So we've been unlucky, and we couldn't move on Deadwood effectively. We've been so unlucky, and we could have got a guy that does. We know, we've seen it, proven. He makes a difference to us. So it's not as if it's easy to slate the board and all because the board's been trying, but if you can't move players on and you're constrained by financial fair play, what can you do? You've just got to go with what you've got.
Aye, listen, the board will take criticism for a few things. Players have probably dug their heels in and all on decent contracts, no fulfilled what we thought they would have, or whoever signed them would fulfil. Have come back for injury, no come back to form, in and out the team. Everything else that we've seen from them, and they're still there getting a decent wage. And if you look at Matondo and that, as we've named them, another one at decent wage, no return. So there's a lot of money Clement could have got if we could have got players out and people actually wanted them. But now they're left, well, he's going to start with his new signings and players that he trusts and wants in the team. So you'd think you'd see less of Kieran Dowell, less of Tom Lawrence, less of Matondo, and Suter will maybe come in and out the team. But I think you've got to start with the two new signings and go with it. I think you've got to embed them into that and make them that defence going forward, and hope that they'll play well. Stevie, so I think Danilo and Ignamani. Right, we've seen what Dessers does, right? He will score goals here and there. Listen, it wouldn't surprise me if he's picked and scores against Dundee United. But you also see the worst of Dessers as we've seen him on Sunday at Hod Up playing everything else. So if Danilo or Ignomani hit a batter for him and come into the team and start scoring, that will probably help, because it's players that we need to come in now and contribute. Been on the sidelines too long. It's time to come in, stand up and be counted.
Yep, I agree. It's time for them all to have a look in the mirror and say, right, now's the time, draw a line and start getting in about it. Look, there's nothing else we can do as fans. I think it was Smurf that just said there is dig our heels in and get behind the team. And old Davy is possibly 80% right. You'll no see a performance like that was woeful. You'll no see that performance at Ibrox when we play them. You know, I think we'll be a far better team by the new boys coming in, and Eggman, and once the boys find their feet, you know, things will get better. You know, but look, what's keen me a bit, but I'm not going too heavy with Clement at the fact that his hands are tied a wee bit here with his fair play. He's got to get players out before he can get players in, and we've lost out in a few players out there, probably cause it and stuff like that. So just look, I'll be at Tannadice, I'll be paying my £33 and I'll be there singing my heart out. It's the only thing I can do left to do for the team, innit? And we've got to get the wins under our belt and hope it snowballs and it'll breed a bit of confidence in amongst the boys. That's all we can do, mate.
I think the next thing, probably, if we take it away from the footballing side, Smurf, I think we need to try and get this CEO in. I think we need to get him in and give him the reins to run the club. You wouldn't like to think he's got to run everything by the board. If he's coming in experienced, and he'll take a while to settle in, I would think. But he has to come in now very, very soon. I think let Bennett step back and do whatever job he does, or there'll be an outcry for him to leave the board. But I think you should let a CEO come in and let's see what he does and because he'll have a lot of control of the club and oversee everything that's happening.
We need a proper person. I said this to Ox, we need somebody in the mould of the old Rangers secretary, Campbell Ogilvie.
David Holmes even.
Or David Holmes even. Campbell Ogilvie. Campbell Ogilvie was... David Holmes orchestrated the revolution. Campbell Ogilvie administrated the club. And it ran like a Rolls Royce when he was there. And I think we need somebody in a Campbell Ogilvie mould to get them in. Somebody who's Scottish, one of us, gets it and can operate in that environment and not be fazed by it, and not going to make the sort of faux pas, you know, of going to play in Australia and all that, or that madness. Guys that are no fee here just don't get it. We need the right people in, and I think that'll make a difference. And maybe you know, the board could be helped. And I'm not talking about Graham Souness, but maybe could be helped by a footballing guy on the board as well. Sorry, I missed that.
Sorry, that's Martha. I was just thinking as you were saying that Gordon Smith seems to be a good enough guy that knows the drill, you know, Scottish guy. Good blue nose, knows all the ins and outs, knows the fans. He would be good on the board with it, Gordon Smith.
Do you know who I would like to know, or as an alternative, would be David McKinnon. You know, he ran. Knows a CEO, but he did sort of act in that kind of capacity down at Kilmarnock. So he gets the business side of it. He's played for Rangers. He's a football guy. So he'd be another good, a bit like the man you just mentioned. He would be it'd be a good addition. You know what I mean? But the other thing that keeps cropping up, I'm not going to say this on air. No, forget it. No.
Wise man. Well, I'll tell you what, we need, as well as that, Zeb Jacobs has left as well. We need to get a director at the academy as well. You know, he's one a position that needs to get filled as well. Don't know what money is involved in all that, but that keeps changing as well. And there's murmurings where there's people in jobs where they think we could be doing better with other people in there, and there's one or two names I know is in there that I think probably do a good job because I've got experience and they're in there.
Yep.
But
Can I come in on that?
Aye.
I just don't think. See, in all honesty, right? I don't mean this about Rangers. See any Scottish club, see that youth development sort of chief sort of development officer or whatever moniker you give them. I want to take it. I want to take that job in Scotland, because to what end? There is no reserve league. There's nothing to play in or play for. So how are you going to get all that talent that you nurture for the under 12s or whatever they start, all the way right through, and you get to 16, you get a first professional contract, and then what do? Go and get them picking up empty bottles in the stadium after a game? There's nothing. What are they going to do? They're going to play bounce games. There's no competitive games, and that's the whole of Scottish football. Don't be fooled. The man came up. They don't bring him down either. They don't. And other teams, smaller teams, their first teams are development squads. Your Aberdeens and your Dundee Uniteds and your Dundees, these clubs cannot financially operate at all without putting young boys in the team. Livingstones and all that, they've got to get straight in. But we're a different beat. We need the tried and tested, because we're going to war with each other and we've got the biggest budgets. So how do we get our young guys in? We can't do it. And because there's no reserve league. It's a massive problem. It's and nobody talks about it. And it's probably the biggest issue in Scottish football today, in my opinion. It needs to be addressed. We need colt teams or a reserve league or something. But youth development is a misnomer where Rangers and Celtic are concerned, because you can't do it. You just can't do it. Unless they get that outrageous a talent, they're so good that they can go into a team at 15 or 18 or whatever. But these guys are few and far between.
Aye, they are. Listen, the B team, some of them, the way I've watched their games, they play no bad football. And they're going to come up against Fraserburgh in the Challenge Cup on Saturday at Capello. I think it's a 3 o'clock kickoff. So, aye, it's a step up, but it's like they're not getting tested really by men's football at playing teams in the league, and what they're going to get tested at. If you take Alex Lowry, like I watched him, he's playing well against Bo'ness. Me and Albert were down and watched him playing Bo'ness in the cup. Aye, he looked good, spraying passes. But I said, if somebody gets injured and he has to go against Hearts or the game against Motherwell, however it was, in the Saturday, it's a totally different game for what he's playing tonight. Totally different. Players are stalling after him, he's making space, but they play good football. And I think looking at some of them, Smurf, some of them could have tried to come in and make a difference. But now, I think the stakes are at high. Come on, it's going to have to go with most of the squad. I don't see many of the young boys getting a chance now. I think when Ridvan's fit, Ridvan will fight it out. I don't see Cole McKinnon getting a chance. I don't see Lovelace even making it in the squad. Archie Stevens is playing well now for the B team. He's too good for the B team now. You can see it. He'd actually maybe come in and make a bit of freshness, and he's pacey and direct on the wing. But we've both Cherny now, so that ain't happening. Ross McLaughlin will get papped on the wing instead of played in a number 10. He'll not get there now because we're saying the Albanian boys. So all these young boys' chances, Cole McKinnon midfield, they're going to be really limited now. They'll probably end up leaving at some point and going elsewhere through time. Maybe a lot of people say they're not good enough because they didn't make the breakthrough, but they never get enough chances to try and play in a team. Like I said, Bailey Rice could have come on last week or the week before. 25 minutes to go, 20 minutes to go. He brought in Kieran Dowell. He could have brought in Bailey Rice, and he chose not to. So that's the manager's choice. Anyway, I think we've run out of time, guys. So I think we'll need to come to you for your last word. So, Davey.
Yeah, with regards to the CEO position, I think we should have 3 CEOs. You, Stevie, and Ox. That would sort the problem. Anyway,
we don't fight amongst each other like everybody else.
But you would probably get it right at the end of the day. Anyway, it's always a pleasure, guys, and you all stay safe, and God bless the dears. I'll catch you always. Good night.
Thanks, Davey. Thanks for phoning in. Smurf.
Davey. Aye, keep your faith, and just keep going. Toyne will come. You've just got to stick with the programme. Take it easy, guys.
Right, Smurf, thanks very much. Well, Stevie, we've came to that and we've ran out of time and everything, so it's been Monday nights.
Aye, that is the half. Good callers, mate. All passionate. That's what this free platform's all about. You know, the Bears phone up, we phone them back. Doesn't cost them a bean, and they can come on and let us know what their feelings are on the team that we love. Listen, win, lose or draw, mate. Me and you'll lock arms and we'll be there anyway. I'll be paying my £33 and I'll be at Tannadice. Thanks for co-host the show tonight, mate. Thanks for having me on. Thanks to Old School Blue. And thanks to all the Bears listening in. Just always remember, no matter what, we are the people.
I'd like to thank Davey, old Davey, young Davey and Smurf for phoning in and thank everybody who's listening in this evening. Aye, mate, it's been a pleasure as always to do a show with you, mate. And it's all about one thing, supporting the Glasgow Rangers. Hoping we're going to see better times coming up now, next game forward. And I'm sure Tannadice will be a sellout for the Bears end and we'll be singing loud and proud. And hopefully we'll cheer the boys on to 3 points. So hopefully a lot will happen between then, maybe get a new CEO in and stuff and get some positive news. We're getting back to Ibrox and we're doing it for the right reasons at the end and it'll probably look magnificent when it's finished. So that's what we've got to look forward to when we get back to Ibrox. So like to thank Old School Blue and all for doing the show and AK for doing the phones, because without Old School Blue and Fox there is no show. So as always, there's only one team and one crown, so take it away, Foxy boy.